Whether it is true or false, you have to go and find it out. Okay, so just a moment. Yeah, here it is. Okay, you have this. Should be one more video, please.
So as you can see, we've ridden. So as you can see, we've ridden from John O'Groats to the equator. And this is our mate Jogo here, who's going to show us a demonstration about the water going down the plug hole. Okay, take it away, Jogo. This is the northern hemisphere. We're 20 paces up from the equator.
20 meters north of equator. So if put my indicator, as it take motion.
It goes clockwise.
Yeah, it goes clockwise direction.
Exactly. Northern hemisphere.
Yeah, the
northern hemisphere. Now, we go to the southern
now we go to the
hemisphere.
southern hemisphere.
So we like to do things quickly.
So now we're on the southern hemisphere, 20 meters on the other side of the equator, and technically it should go the other way around.
Yeah.
Can't remember being in the northern hemisphere like it was yesterday.
Yeah, let it drain exactly do the force of gravity. Yeah. If you put the indicator, you see now
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. To state you're standing at the southern hemisphere.
Totally,
clearly
anti-clockwise. It's in the middle.
The lesser the rotation. Yeah, exactly now we are starting 0 degrees. There is lesser rotation.
Okay.
So this shouldn't rotate.
This should not rotate.
Give it a minute.
You see, exactly at the equator, as it grows, it will make no rotation. Equal forces pulling each other.
Equal forces like magnets. That's amazing. Well done, Ewan. Hey, hang on. All right.
How is it in the southern hemisphere?
Well, it's kind of similar to the
Tell you what, it's great in the northern hemisphere today, but I fancy a bit of a change.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so northern hemisphere, it is clockwise according to it. Okay, so you just check it out whether these things are demonstrable in your own house. Try these experiments by allowing the water to flow down the drain, or you can make up those small kits and see how you notice the rotation of this water. Do you really see it or not? You have to verify and let me know. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, do I have anything else? No, I think that's all. Okay. Let us now look at how the motion occurs on the earth frame. That is what we derived. The equations were general equations. Let us specifically apply it to the earth and see what happens. I'm opening the slides are here. So the project groups, have you decided on that? Kshitij, I told you to share that Excel sheet. Did you create any Excel sheet? Kshitij. Do you hear me?
Sir, we can hear you.
Yes. So did you do that?
No, sir, we can hear you. Siddhi, I don't know.
Oh, Kshitij cannot hear. Okay, you are Ashish. Sorry. Okay, probably let him come back. So anyway, the question for everyone else: have you made the groups?
Yes, sir.
So,
So some of us have, sir.
okay, so anyway, generally share that Excel sheet whose groups have been made. We will let us start discussing what we have to do. Otherwise, at the end, you will all be having too many things to do simultaneously. So when Kshitij comes back, let him tell him to share that sheet where these groups have been made. So do you want to discuss anything related to that? I think Sriram is still working on that simulation. Told him to send it today. Probably he forgot.
Hello.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Kshitij,
Yes,
the
sir.
question was where is that group list?
Sir, means earlier, sir, we were divided into 4 groups, sir.
Oh, just a moment.
So, 1 second, sir. Sir, means till now, sir, means very few students have given their group names. Means,
So what you do is you simply share that Excel sheet with me. So I will add some columns to let the students enter their details there.
okay,
So
sir.
yeah, the quicker you make it is better. So those who have made, we shall start discussing at least.
Okay, sir. Sir, I will share it today after the class, sir.
Okay, very good. So the information should be SC code, name, then uh, the group. Okay, you can start with the group number, SC code, name, then there will be email ID, phone number in case I want to get in touch with. So these 5 columns you include there. You can share the same sheet to others. Everyone will start editing it and then add their own list. So that way you don't have to really add anything. Just create a template for them. Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Kshitij. Okay, so let us do a little bit of Earth's motion on the surface of the Earth. I think something is troubling me. So is the screen visible? Whatever formulas we or whatever derivations we made.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Oh, okay. I have to log out and log in. Just give me a moment. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. So basically, whatever we did earlier, we are just going to use specific numbers for the Earth. On the surface of the Earth, we will just apply that and then see how the particle appears to move. And then we will draw some conclusions for that. We will look at free fall and other aspects. Foucault's pendulum, how to detect the rotation of those things. So this is the diagram we can have in mind. You have capital XYZ, which is from I think vernal equinox. Yes, capital XYZ. X is pointing in the vernal equinox. It is the ECI frame. Then you have X dash, Y dash, Z dash. So X dash is the Greenwich. Then you observe this angle between the vernal equinox and the Greenwich. That is theta g. Actually, this is your sidereal time. So how far away is the Greenwich from the vernal equinox? So every day it meets the vernal equinox once along the equator. So that is 24 hours sidereal time. That is with respect to a fixed star in the sky. So this theta g angle is related to the time clock on your hand or whatever time you are measuring. When you say 3 o'clock, it is with respect to certain longitude, and then that longitude is away from the Greenwich, and then that Greenwich meridian is also away from the vernal equinox by certain amount of time. So that is the clock we are measuring the position of the sidereal star. Okay, so the position of the star, that is called as the sidereal time. So the lambda here, which is from x dash to the given longitude. You imagine an object at the latitude shown here, phi, and then the origin is O on the surface of the Earth. It is on the surface of the Earth, not the center of the Earth. Center of the Earth origin is C. So you have constructed an east-north zenith coordinate system there. You have x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, small letters. So Ix, Jx, and Kz are the unit vectors in the directions. You have east direction, north direction, and zenith direction. There is a particle P above the surface of the Earth. At any instant of time, you can draw the line starting from the particle P down to the center of the Earth. It intersects the surface of the Earth at O. So therefore, when the particle moves, the coordinate system is also moving with the particle on the surface of the Earth. That is a northeast or east, north, and zenith coordinate system. Is the geometry clear? Just observe it for some time. May take some time to.
So the particle is at zenith, sir.
No, particle is at zenith. So wherever the particle is, you assume it as zenith by drawing this coordinate system shown here. If the particle moves, it will be moving above the surface of the Earth, remember. The coordinate system below also will be moving. So for every particle above the surface of the Earth which is moving, there is an instantaneous coordinate system, northeast zenith, which you can associate with center on the surface of the Earth, which is along the line joining the particle to the center of the Earth. The center of the Earth is C. You have the capital XYZ coordinate system, where X is the vernal equinox direction along the equator. And then at any instant of time, you have the Greenwich. Along the Greenwich, you have the X dash axis and Y dash orthogonal to it along the equator, and Z dash is parallel or along the axis of rotation. So this ECEF coordinate system, Earth center, Earth fixed, is with respect to the Greenwich, which will be rotating with respect to the ECI coordinate system, which is with respect to the vernal equinox. The Earth is rotating. In addition to that, particle is also moving above the surface of the Earth. The object is moving. Object P is moving above the surface of the Earth. So as it moves, even if the Earth is stationary, the coordinate system below that, which is the northeast zenith coordinate system, that also will be moving. So right now what we have is two different motions, one due to the motion of the Earth and one due to the motion of the particle. The coordinate system northeast zenith is moving due to these two movements. Lambda is the instantaneous longitude of the particle, and then phi is the instantaneous latitude of the particle. Latitude and longitude of the particle above the surface of the Earth is obtained by simply projecting the particle along the radius vector towards the center. Of course, there are other issues like whether we are considering geocentric or geodetic center, so that we will resolve later on. For the moment, assume that the Earth is spherical. Earth is a sphere or Earth is spherical. I will open one more window so that the picture is always visible. So let us now see how to describe the motion. Okay, I have to compile this. Just give me a moment. Otherwise, you will see too many text coming at a time. Okay. Capital XYZ is your non-rotating inertial frame, which is also called as the Earth-centered inertial frame. Z-axis is the axis of rotation. X dash, Y dash, Z dash is the rotating frame, which is due to the rotation of the Earth with the same center C. Z dash axis is parallel to the Z axis. I'm just describing whatever I described now. X dash is intersecting the equator at the prime meridian, which is also called as the Greenwich. Then you have the angle between the X and the X dash axis, which is the angle between how far away the Greenwich has passed since it passed the vernal equinox along the meridian. It's a measure of sidereal time. It's also called as the UT, universal time. And then you have the angular velocity of the Earth as capital omega. Theta g increases as omega is changed, as the time, at the rate omega. That is, in one day, 360 degrees is elapsed, or 24 hours. There is a particle P above the surface of the Earth and it is moving in some arbitrary fashion. So the origin O is at any instant the line joining directly from P to the center of the Earth. So it is intersecting the surface of the Earth at O. The RL is the position vector of the P relative to the C in the rotating frame X dash, Y dash, Z dash. That is, from the center of the Earth, you are finding out how far away the particle is with respect to the moving frame. Instead of saying how far away, it's the position vector. Then you have the instantaneous longitude and latitude, lambda and phi, of the origin O. So the XYZ frame, small XYZ frame, is also called as the topocentric horizon coordinate system. We had discussed earlier. East, north, zenith, which is a right-handed coordinate system. That means x-axis is along the east, north is the y-axis, and zenith is your z-axis. These are the important things. X and y are measured positive in the eastward and northward at any instant of time along the local latitude and meridian respectively. So there is a tangent plane. The XY plane is also called as the tangent plane at O, which is also called as the local horizon. The z-axis is directed radially outward from the center. The small z-axis, remember, it is your zenith axis. The small ijk is the unit vectors for this horizon coordinate system. Since this origin O remains directly below P as P moves, therefore the coordinate system is also moving. So that is why when you write down the equations, we have to consider the motion of the earth. How do you account for the curvature? That is accounted by observing the movement of this coordinate system. The curvature is obtained from there. We will shortly see how it plays a role. Okay. Any questions in the assumptions until now? Right. We will simply write down the expressions for each and then compute the acceleration and the velocity and then make some inferences from there. And how the curvature of the earth is accounted, we will be able to understand from writing down the equations. In the navigation system, it is important to know how to write down expressions and then solve them also when you are in a moving frame. In this particular case, we have taken the movement of the object above the surface of the earth. So let us write down some simple equations. So RL, what is RL? RL is the position vector from the center to the particle P with respect to the x dash, y dash, z dash, which is your ECEF or Earth Centered Earth Fixed Frame. So since the object is always above the earth, we don't consider particle moving below the earth. So there is always the radius of the earth plus the height h. And then the direction is always the k direction. And remember that this k direction is always changing. This is the small k direction. The small k is always in the sense depending on the motion of the object. Depending on the motion of the object, the k is also changing. This should be accounted for when you are computing the velocities and acceleration. Where re is the radius of the earth, h is the height above the p, height of the particle above the earth, surface of the earth. So therefore, if you want to compute the velocity, you simply compute it in the fashion shown here. Since Re is a constant, dRe by dt is 0. So what you have is only h dot into h dot in k direction plus Re plus h in dk by dt. So our intention is how to compute this dk by dt utilizing the lambda and phi. We have to see what happens when phi changes and when theta changes. How does the k direction change when the theta is changing or when the phi is changing? That latitude longitude changes lead to changes in the vector dk. So we have to make these observations now. Any questions until now here? We will now be bringing in this lambda and phi.
No questions.
Yeah, this is only due to non-rotating earth. Remember that omega we have not considered. We will do it in the next. K is changing as P is moving. To compute dk by dt, the angular velocity vector omega of the XYZ frame has to be computed. Right now we will start with non-rotating Earth. This will be computed in terms of the longitude rate and latitude rate. So let us do it one by one. If it is purely due to latitude, what happens to K? If it is purely due to longitude, what happens to K? So we will be exploring this one by one. So notice that x-axis is parallel to equatorial plane no matter where the particle P is above the Earth. Can you confirm if it is acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Wherever you go, east axis is always parallel to the equator. YZ plane. Now let us look at the YZ plane. YZ plane is along the meridian. That is north and the zenith. You imagine a plane passing through north and the zenith. So this will always be along the meridian at the local origin O. So then what is the angle made by the y-axis? What is the angle made by the y-axis at the equator? With respect to the z-axis? With respect to the z-axis, what is the angle made by the y-axis? That is the north axis.
Sir, which Z axis, sir? Capital Z or?
What is capital Z? Sorry. Yeah, the axis of rotation. The north axis makes certain angle with the axis of rotation. What is the angle made by that? At the equator, it is
Latitude. Latitude 5.
latitude, yes. At the equator, it is 90. As you move up, it is 90 minus
5. 5.
90 minus 5 or latitude itself? No. At the equator, it is 0. You are right. And then as you move up, the y-axis, that is, sorry, the north axis will make an angle latitude. So when you reach the 90 degree, the north is or very close to that 90 degree. The north is close to 90 degree with respect to the z-axis. There is a singularity at that point. We will not consider that. So x-axis makes an angle that is about y-axis. What is the angle made by the x-axis? That is the east axis with respect to the y-dash axis. At the x-dash location or the Greenwich meridian, at the Greenwich meridian, what is the angle made by the east axis with respect to the y-axis?
Theta.
Y-dash axis, sorry, y-dash.
Theta G, sir.
No, that will be parallel, no? The east axis at the meridian. East axis along the meridian is actually parallel to y-dash axis or 90 degrees to the x-dash.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is the mouse pointer visible? You come to this particular equator. Suppose you are at the equator and you draw the east axis here. The east axis will be perpendicular to x dash, therefore it is parallel to y dash along the equatorial plane. At any other location, it is making an angle lambda with the y dash axis. Is this okay? So the two are important things. That is the y-axis. Sorry, the north makes an angle phi, which is latitude with respect to the axis of rotation. The east makes an angle lambda, which is the longitude with respect to the y dash axis. Let us now take these individual things. So when the particle P moves above the surface of the Earth, what will happen is there is a change in the lambda and the phi. That is, there is a change in the latitude and the longitude, as well as, of course, the height also. All these three things change. So if you look at the orientation of ijk, if only the height is changing, the orientation will have no changes. The change in the height of the particle has no impact on the orientation of the small xyz coordinate system. The northeast zenith coordinate system is unaltered when the height changes, or when only the height changes. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there are so many small points because only all these observations will lead to writing down the equation. So now let us see, when will rotation with respect to east axis occur? If there is a change only in the latitude, what is the axis of rotation? If there is a change only in the latitude of the particle, what is the axis of rotation?
X.
You will notice that the axis is along east axis. Are you able to imagine this? You
Yes,
look at
sir.
this dotted line. You simply move along the dotted line. So with respect to which axis are you moving? Rotating, sorry. The rotation effect due to the change in the latitude is felt along the east axis. At any instant of time, this is true. So therefore, east rotation is equal to phi dot. That is one information you can directly write. So when the angle phi increases, or when the latitude increases, the rotation is from the sense of rotation we have to fix now. When phi increases, what is the sense of rotation? You have to hold the thumb along the east axis and then see how you are, and then try to increase the angle phi. So what is the sense of rotation now? The
Negative, sir.
rotation,
Clockwise.
you have to hold the thumb along the east direction. The fingers are, of course, always will curl in the same way, but you have to see what happens when the angle is increasing. When the angle is increasing, the tendency to rotate is in reverse direction of the curling of the finger of your right hand.
Yes, sir.
So hold your thumb along the east axis, start from equator, let us say, and then increase the angle phi, or increase the angle latitude. So as you increase the angle, you will notice that the curling of your right hand fingers, the other fingers, will be, you will be forced to rotate in the opposite direction. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So therefore, the Wx, that is rotation with respect to x-axis, is minus phi dot I. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
If phi increases, the rotation is in one sense. If phi decreases, the rotation is in the positive sense. Similarly, let us see what happens when lambda changes. So for that, let us look at the rotation rate along the non-rotating z-axis. So if it is purely change in the longitude, the actual rotation is along which axis? If there is purely change, if there is a change only purely due to longitude. So what is the axis of rotation? It is along the
capital Z.
capital Z or SZ dash, whichever it is. So right now we have to convert this into small ijk. So how do you so phi dot equals, sorry, lambda dot, is it positive sense or negative sense? If lambda increases,
Positive, sir.
it is positive. That is lambda dot equals to, sorry, W capital Z is equal to
Dot capital Z.
this expression. Just a minute, I will pick up this phone. Hello. Yes, madam. Sorry, I am back. We will do this again once again. And just one more part only. So now you look at this. Let us break. How do you decompose the capital K axis, which is along your capital Z axis, along the other coordinates of your small x, y, z? So what is the projection? How do you decompose this? The capital K with respect to, will it have, what is the orientation of east axis with respect to this Z axis, capital Z axis? East with respect to the axis of rotation. That is capital K. Are they orthogonal or are they making any angle?
Orthogonal.
They are orthogonal. Therefore, lambda dot's component, will it be felt on that east axis?
No, sir.
No. So therefore, when lambda changes or when the longitude is changing, there is no effect on the east axis. So with respect to rotation, I am saying this is only with respect to rotation. The rotation effect is not felt on the east axis due to change in longitude. So where are the rotation effects felt now? You have to see what are the components with respect to small z, that is north and zenith axis. So how do you decompose with respect to north and zenith now? This capital K. You have to use this angle.
Cos phi. Cos.
Yes, exactly. So this is the thing. So the component of capital K along y and z is simply cos phi of j plus sin phi of k, where j is your north and k, small k is your zenith. Is that clear? Next class we will once again discuss this and just so that you get one round of explanation, and when we repeat it, it will become clearer. There are so many points to be understood. Once you get that, then it is simply straightforward. So the overall y w y z is simply lambda dot cos phi j plus lambda dot sin phi k. So what is the rotation? Overall rotation effect is simply omega x plus omega y z. If you simply add them, that is your instantaneous axis of rotation. The instantaneous axis of rotation is omega x plus omega y z at any instant of time due to the motion of the particle p. Is that clear? This
Yes,
is the
sir.
question. Yeah, this is. Okay, so then we will come back again in the next class tomorrow, then discuss. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Don't keep it for long time. Now, usually what happens is mathematics, if you leave for longer time, at the last moment, you will be tending to make these silly mistakes. You will know the answer if you are given sufficient time, but unfortunately, exams nowadays are not allowing that flexibility. Not nowadays. At any point of time, we haven't allowed that flexibility, unfortunately. Okay, then. Thank you. Any questions? Don't hesitate to ask. I'm here.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible.
Sir, like my question is somewhat different, sir, not related to this. Sir, like,
Okay.
why does the sun arise at a different time for the entire year? Like, timing for sunrise is different.
That is interesting. That we will see. What happens is there is an inclination between the ecliptic and the equator. So at different points of the year, ecliptic basically means the what is that? If you look at the plane in which the sun appears to move, is actually inclined with respect to the plane in which the equator is. Equatorial plane, and these are the Earth's rotation is along the axis orthogonal to equator. So because of this inclination, the sun actually appears to rise during some other different locations towards the north and towards the south, during winter in the south and during summer in the north. So the winter, actually the seasons themselves occur because of this one. Otherwise we would never have had this winter and summer. There will be only one season. So inclination actually is very important for seasons on the earth. We will, okay, so we will draw some pictures and describe that also. Good question. So many times, even though we feel we know that, there are lots of confusions there also. So did I at least address your question? Was that your question?
Sir, I
Yeah,
asked
I
about
have not
time.
answered it. Yes.
I asked about times, like.
Oh, you
different
asked
time.
about time. Oh, tell me what is about time?
So the sunrise time is different, like for every day. Sometimes it is 5:14 a.m. Sometimes it is 5:33 a.m.
This related to the same seasonal effect. Because of this inclination, the sun will not be visible. Okay, so that also we will describe it. Okay, you were mentioning about the time. Yeah.
So then, does there exist any point where the time of sunrise will always be same?
There is I think along the equator it is always same, because equator is always directly facing the sun. Is it along the equator? Let me think. No. Is what your point is? Is there a location on the earth where the time change is not there?
The
Is that the question?
Yes, sir.
Time of rising and setting. Oh. I'm not sure. Probably. What about the equator? Do you see sunrise and sunset at the same time? I expect it.
Don't know, sir.
Okay, so let me think about it. We have to look at the geometry. Yeah, we will discuss these things. Yes.
So is it like the length of the days and night should be constant throughout the year at that point?
Yeah. That's what it implies. If that is the case. I think at equator, will it be like that? We have to see the inclination. I think along the equator it should be true. That's what. We have to draw this. We don't have a picture. If we have a picture, we can imagine it using that. Did we have any such pictures?
Sir, we have some pictures during the coordinate systems, like in the coordinate
Yeah.
system.
That was, did we do coordinate systems?
Very less, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so we let me see if I have any picture. Yeah, I have one picture. Let's see this. It will be interesting. From that, if we can decipher. So do you see this?
Yes, sir.
So you have to imagine the rotation axis is this inclination. So you said that why it appears to rise and set at different time. The shadow of the earth, the sunlight can only cover half the hemisphere. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, if you look at the winter, first day of the winter location and first day of the summer location, you will see that the sunlight and then correspondingly the shadows are at different locations. Shadow basically means the eclipse part of the. Okay, so here we can say where the sun is not directly coming. Can you imagine that you have right hand side first day of winter and first day of summer, left hand side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you notice it, the location of the earth on which the sun will be lit and unlit or dark, light and dark portions on the right side and the left side are significantly different. So that clearly shows that there will be certain locations where the sun will not be there. For instance, if you look at the right hand side, the North Pole will never have the sun because it is further away from that half hemisphere. Half hemisphere, you have to imagine a vertical line on this.
So then at equator it will be same.
At equator, yeah, in the equator also, at the equator what happens is the inclination is in the other angle. So the plane facing the sun. No, everywhere the half of the earth is eliminated. That is always true. It is only the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere.
Yes, so the length of the day at equator will be same throughout.
Length of the day will be same, you are saying. Is it?
Yes, I think.
At the first day of spring. Oh, at the equator, okay.
Sir, I think length of the day will be remaining the same at the equator always, but the locations will vary anyway. The where it is rising and setting.
Even for the equator persons also.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, it will be moving in parallel. Correct. You are right. What will happen is, for us, it appears to rise from one east, northeast, and set at southwest. So that won't happen. Northeast, southwest is like a diagonal line, no? At people on northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere that happens, but on the along the equator, what happens is it will simply rise at a particular latitude and set at a particular latitude. The same latitude, not a different latitude. It moves parallel to the latitude. Does that make sense? That is what you are saying, right, Kshitij?
Aditya.
Aditya, sorry. Oh, I'm getting confused with the voices. Is that what you said?
So actually, I've I think shared a like slightly better picture, sir. Maybe that will help in the chat.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. Yeah, it's only a general discussion. If others want to leave, they can leave. Okay, so yeah. So how do I open it? Just a minute. To do the usual share. Okay, here we are. I think we did look at this. This is for a person where
The equator, sir.
this is for a person in the equator. Okay.
Sir, I think this is not at equator, sir.
No, it cannot be. At the
23
equator,
update.
it will be.
Sir, Tropic of Cancer, I think.
This is in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, this inclination will not be there.
Yes, sir. So it will be like length of day will remain same, but this rising and setting that will vary across the circle at equator.
Rising. Okay, across. Okay. So this, I think this is at the equator, is it then?
No, sir. Here actually length of the day is varying, right? So
Yeah, I think you can see a smaller day and larger day, right?
but at equator they will be like over the like all will be of same arc length.
I had some images, I remember that. Where is it? I think the coordinate system transformations, we did mention some things. No. Should be here. It was here. Oh, it would have been in the other thing. No, got it. Not here. That introduction slide. think in the introduction we did mention it somewhere. Yeah. North Pole. Okay. So this is how it will appear, like parallel to the.
Yeah, yes, sir. This one.
This is a better picture. So the time is same. Along with the other picture, the overall picture, you should imagine this. Does it more or less answer your question, or you still have?
Yes, sir, it is fine.
Hmm.
Sir, then the star rise time also will remain
Yeah,
same.
everything. The star also will have the same thing. So even at the equator, these all the objects will appear to move like this. Whatever is there in the sky. In the so that is where this one came. No, this thing will happen in the North Pole. Sorry, Northern Hemisphere.
Sir, I
So
mean
that is
the
why
time.
yeah.
So time, sir, time, star rise time.
Time also will be same.
Sir, but the star doesn't need to have this. The inclination of the star is very less, I think. The elliptic plane of the star and
Oh, okay, okay. So you are saying the inclination. No. See, the Earth is rotating from east to west. This. Okay, so you are saying no, it is true for everything. No, so okay. So what is your question now? You are saying. Um,
so the rise time of the star, will it remain same or will it vary?
The rise time of the star. Oh,
Star.
okay. So now I got your point. The star rise and set is purely due to the rotation of the Earth. That is true even for the Sun. But okay, the Earth's motion is perceived by the. There is a relative motion of the Earth with respect to the Sun. That is a revolution, rotation and revolution both are there. That is why that plane comes into picture. But however, for the stars, the movement of we don't move around the star. Or in in the short period under consideration, there is no perceivable motion. So the only perceivable motion is with respect to rotation of the Earth. So therefore, the star rise and star set time should be, I think, more or less same. It will not vary. Is that okay? Or we are moving around the sun, but we are not moving around the star.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, that inclination location also changes with respect to sun, but that does not happen with respect to other stars because it will take enormously large number of years before we can even imagine that we move around some star or something.
Okay, sir.
So this is what I wanted you to observe, that if you look at the pole star, you will see that there are some stars, especially the Saptarishis mandal. At least you can see that constellation will be revolving around the pole star. Of course, it will take full revolution will take 24 hours. So in the night you should observe for. I think nowadays most of the days the sky is overcast. So this year astronomy people are out of job. At least the observers.
Yes, sir.
They'll be having holidays. Okay, then anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, how many labs are there?
How many? Actually, 5 questions are there. I told him to send the answers by today. Sorry, send the questions. Probably he was correcting the quiz or something and he forgot. I try to get at least one set released by tomorrow. They are simple. Okay, so only one set of questions is slightly this thing, but that also just integration only, nothing more than that. Anything else? So I'm just here because you are all here. Okay, so otherwise I'm finished. I think probably many have already fallen asleep.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir, we are here.
You are all awake. Good.
Yes, sir.
So how are the other courses going on? Are you all comfortable with other things?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, sort of.
Sort of. Okay. So what is the difficulty you are facing generally? I know that lab is not there. That's a irritating thing.
Sir, too much work pressure.
Too much theory, no?
No, sir, work too much.
Sir.
Like assignments too much.
Yeah,
All
too
the
much.
assignments
Yes, sir.
together. All
Right.
the faculties give assignment at same time with same deadline.
Oh. Yeah, you can always ask me for extension whenever you have difficulties. Don't worry about it. I just give the deadline so that when the course is also going on, uh, if you take longer time to solve the questions, then it will not have. Sometimes you may not understand things if you don't do the assignments. Only for that purpose, I keep the deadline. Are there too many theory classes?
Like, sir, means it's okay, sir, means.
This semester, I think it is okay because 7th semester probably is one of the relatively relaxed thing.
But, sir, every faculty is asking for a lot of extra lectures. That is the issue.
Yeah. See, what happens in this online mode is in an usual standard class, faculty will take some time to come in, some time to go out. So hardly 40 minutes are engaged. Now, once we start, we don't even stop.
Yes, sir.
It's like it's almost like an inertia for us to stop. It simply moves, and then there is no this, since we don't see you, we don't know whether you have understood or not. So that also is another factor. We believe something and then we keep on moving. In the classroom, we get this time to look at you and then get the feel that whether some things have been understood or not understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll stop recording.
Okay, sir.